What up, everybody? Welcome to another live eviction in Big Brother Canada 9. Still a few moments away from the start of the episode. Who's going home tonight? Will it be Kyle? Will it be Austin? I think I know. We'll see. We'll see. The votes could still go either way. It's yet to be seen. I'm leaning Kyle. I think it's just the best move for everyone in the game. I think the only one who maybe it's not their best move would be Rohan, right? If Rohan were to keep Kyle, that's his best move. But for everybody else, get rid of the threat. You got to get rid of Kyle tonight. That's what I think would need to happen. Austin's not really a threat to anybody, except maybe Kiefer. She might go after Beth, maybe? I could see her going after that. Like, if that would be maybe her noms. Like, if, hypothetically, right, Austin wins the invisible HOH, which we'll get into whatever that is. Who knows what that is? Hypothetically, if she won, her noms, I would imagine, would be something like a Kiefer and an and a Beth. But we'll see. We'll see how it would go. Kyle, on the other hand, I think he would definitely go for Ty or Jed. And that's be who they would want. We're jumping into it here. I'll cut the music. Marissa is welcoming us to the episode. I'll give you a little sync up here.
This is Big Brother Canada.
Previously on Big Brother Canada.
Doing the recap, so if you need to sync this up, if you're watching it after the fact, there you go. So they're just going over pretty much what happened in the last episode with Kiefer winning HOH, putting up Kyle and Rohan, and then Rohan winning the veto, the replacement being Austin. Let's talk about what we think the invisible HOH is going to be, because I'm not 100% sure. Oh, hey, Three Sheets. Good to see you back. I'm glad you enjoyed the secret room video. Anybody who hasn't seen that yet, that's my most recent video I just put out. I'm always my toughest critic, right? Like, I'll watch my video afterwards, after I'm done editing it, like, to make sure it's okay. And I'm always like, man, this... But then I'm like, wait a minute, you know what? Actually, it's pretty good. Like, it grows on me after I'm like halfway through the video. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is good. It's good. But thank you for saying you enjoyed it. Now, like I was saying, invisible HOH. I think I know who the invisible HOH is going to be. I'm pretty sure I know who it will be.
And his name is John C.
Hey, look, maybe the invisible HOH just can't be seen, and his name is John Cena. Who else can't be seen but John Cena? I don't know. What up, JD? Welcome back again. Yeah, I don't know what the heck an invisible HOH is. I have no idea how this is gonna go. My best guess is it's going to be some kind of endurance competition, maybe, or like a question competition where you can't see the other competitors. Wait, they're kind of explaining it right now. Some kind of power. I'm so confused on what this is going to be. I have literally no clue.
There is one thing we know for sure. This season, the house guests...
Crazy. This is going to be crazy. I honestly... I have no clue what's going to happen. What if the evicted house... Right? Ooh, that's a good one, JD. What if being evicted makes you HOH? Whew, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Again, I think my best guess is whoever wins HOH in the competition, they're just not going to know, right? Which I guess would technically mean Kiefer is going to be the only one that they're going to be able to be like, he is definitely not HOH because he can't be HOH. So like everybody in the house, it might be like, are you HOH? Are you HOH? If you're HOH, you got to tell me if you're HOH. You know, like a cop. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Austin just talking about how it sucks to be on the block, and I'm sure it does. But I think you're safe. I think you're safe, Austin. I don't think you have much to worry about tonight. You never know in this game, especially in this house. Who knows? Maybe half hour before the nominations, there was a flip again. They've done it before. Who knows? But I think you're safe, Austin. I think you're safe. I do love Kiefer being like, look, I'm going after the duos. All these teams, all these pairs, they're the dangerous one. I don't have anybody who I can rely on. I got to take out these duos. Kyle going in hard. Going in hard on him. Now Spicy's going in. And he's just eating popcorn. Oh, that's Spicy and Kyle going after each other. That's why Kiefer's just like munching. He's like, oh, you guys go at it. JD, I hope Kyle survives the block, but at the same time, I want him to be the invisible HOH, right? Like, if the invisible HOH is whoever gets evicted, that's, you know, kind of cool, right? So it would be Kyle. But if it's not who gets evicted, right, and Kyle is evicted, I think Austin's eviction would shake things up more and would cause more drama, right? But I don't know. I still think it's going to be Austin going, or excuse me, Kyle going tonight. I also kind of have a feeling that maybe it's not even a competition that makes you the invisible HO. Because the way they were describing it, it's a power. And possibly it does have something to do with the ball pit, right? There's been a lot of developments with the ball pit, actually. I mentioned it in my secret room videos. There's about 50 of the balls in the ball pit that actually have numbers on them. So, like bingo numbers. There's also bigger balls that actually spell out bingo. So, who even knows if maybe that has something to do with who ends up being the invisible HOH. Because the way they were describing it doesn't seem like it's just a straight up competition. It makes it seem like there's something you have to do. Maybe it is a Canadian HOH, right? Like, what was that, season 2? When they got Andrew up on the block? Maybe it is. That wasn't a huge fan favorite necessarily, even though I don't think that messed up the game too much. I think Andrew gets evicted probably that week or next week, even if there wasn't a Canadian HOH in season 2. But possibly that could be it too, JD. This season has been full of great gaming so far. Do you think the secret room or Marsha might, right? Like, where's Marsha? Where's Marsha hiding? Is Marsha in the ball pit? Right? Like, she's got to show up at some point, right? And who do I want to win HOH from Miles there? Who would be the most interesting HOH this week? I would really love to see a Tina HOH just to see what she would do. Like, I don't 100% know where she would go, but I also don't think she's trying to win, right? So I don't think we're going to see a Tina HOH. I think a Spicy HOH might be the most interesting one. Like, what would Spicy now do again if she was HOH? I don't think she would go after Rohan. I think she would go after Ty and Jed, which again is more exciting, interesting than just going after Rohan, who's now going to be on his own. I don't know. I want Rohan, the epic boy, to win HOH. Hey, maybe, right? Because he's going to be, like, pissed off after Kyle leaves. Ooh, Vic and Rohan are going at it right now with Kyle in the ball pit. So Kyle's, I guess, just trying to explain what's going on. Oh, man. It's been a weird dynamic. I'll pull this up. I'm still working on it. It's not final. I'll probably end up making a newer final one after this upcoming week. But the alliance chart there also gives you an idea who's on the block, who won HOH, veto. So the Sunsetters is kind of not really a thing anymore. Like, it's a thing, right? Like, Jed, Ty, Beth, and Kiefer are all like the Sunsetters, and Tina's like a number, but they don't trust her, right? And Tina doesn't really consider herself part of that either, other than maybe voting with them. And the Moonlighters really was a 1 week thing just to kind of go after Latoya. The Oddballs is still a thing, but as you can see, there's lots of tension between all of them because they've been throwing each other's names out to Kiefer this week. So none of them really seem to trust each other anymore. Even though right now Spicy's kind of, making amends with Kyle and Rohan. Everybody was throwing her name out there, so she doesn't really trust everybody either. Now we're getting Beth and Beth and Ty. Here's the thing. Beth and Ty used to be the closer of the three in the isosceles. It's now Beth and Jed who are tighter. And at this point, I almost expect that to flip at some point too, right? Where Jeff becomes more of a Teth again. Who knows? I wonder what will happen if Breydon HOH would be really interesting. What would he do? I would imagine Breydon would try and play it safe. He'd go after someone like Kiefer. And maybe Tera, right? Like Kiefer Tera nominations from Breydon. Who his actual target would end up being. Like, is there a backdoor plan? I don't know. But his would be an interesting HOH. There's lots of people that I would really be interested to know what they would do, right? Like, they talk a big game, like, to other people inside the house. What would they actually do? Wait, are we jumping in the vote, like, right after this commercial? The way she made that sound, it sounded like we're about to, like, get right into the eviction, which would be very quick. Huh. What kind of... I guess because it all has to do with this invisible HOH, like, the competition might be a little long and convoluted, right? So maybe something like that is happening, right? That's why they would be doing it so early. But I don't know. That is interesting. But yeah, that does bring us to the first commercial break of the evening. Is it the evicted house guest becomes HOH? They have not said. They have not confirmed what actually the invisible HOH is going to be. They keep alluding to it being a power, though. Right? Like, not just like, oh, a normal HOH where you want HOH. They keep saying things like, that make me think that they have to do something more. But then how do you do something more if you won HOH and then have to find something people would know you were HOH. I don't know. See, this is one of those twists where it's like very vague, but also intriguing, and we have no clue what's about to happen. Like, even the announcer in last episode is, what does that mean? Who knows? Like, and that's one of the things that I like about Big Brother Canada, as opposed to just the American regular Big Brother US, is they're willing to take risks and you know, experiment with the game, right? Like the team twist this season. It wasn't perfect, but I really liked the team twist. I think what it did was cause a divide in the house naturally that we've kind of missed in Big Brother for a while, especially in the American Big Brother and just regular US Big Brother. There used to be a lot of early tension from, believe it or not, the food competitions, right? So what would end up happening is you have the whole house, split them up into teams. It's usually randomly picked teams. Maybe there's two captains that pick people. Maybe they have to grab like a colored bandana or whatever. However it is, they usually would split them up into two teams. Those two teams would then compete for food, right? Like it might be, and actually what they've even done before is they had it where like the teams were working together. Like I remember, what was it? Big Brother 10. Yeah. It was Dan's first season. Cause, it was they were all mad at Rennie because she was really bad at picking out the socks. They had to describe a sock to the other side. But back to what I was getting at, I got a little off track there. I was just thinking about that because that was hilarious. They're like, Rennie, it's the red and white striped sock. The one with skulls? I got one with skulls on it. And it's like, no, Rennie. All right, we're getting back into it here. Give you guys a little sync up.
Austin too tempting a target to pass up. In just a few minutes, we'll talk to the house guests live and get the results. But first, let's head back inside.
Okay, we're not jumping right into the eviction. We're going back into the house, getting some more info. Kiefer and Tina up in the HOH. Why are they calling Tina and Tera to the diary room? See, and this is the thing, like, that's weird to call them together. Oh, they're hosting a party. Right? Why with all the trollage? What are they trolling us for? I think this is a secret task, Rashad, yeah. Let's see, Three Sheets Mary was saying the jab Kiefer took at Vic. About the mop, what the hell? Yeah, that was pretty messed up. But yeah, I think this is a secret task type of thing. They're hosting like some kind of competition. I think this might have been the roast, maybe. I don't know if anybody saw those clips of the roast that all the house guests did. It was hilarious. All right, they're in the storage room. Rohan's like up against the door. Oh, they got all kinds of beer. Everyone's all like sketched out. They're in the pantry and it's locked. Breydon tries to get in. This is kind of like the Allison and John task. And then they bring out the beers. They should have just had Tina and Tera just getting smashed in the diary room like Josh and Allison. That would have been the task that I would have done. I would have been like, look, you guys get to drink some beers, and then you have to head back out, pretend you're not drunk. Yeah, they're getting lit right now. They're just dancing, jumping. They're having a good old time. Jedson's doing some floor humping. That's a thing. Let's see. Bro, imagine if you dug deep far into the ball pit and there's a seat. Oh man, that would be cool. The only thing is, I did see there's a time lapse video of them filling up the ball pit with all the balls, and there didn't seem to be any like secret doors or anything underneath it. It is really deep though. It was really deep, and the camera didn't show you what was behind. So there's potential that maybe there was a door behind the camera or something in the ball pit, but that would be really cool if there was a door like underneath there that you had to open up or something. That would be really dope. Oh, what up, Hermit? What up? And then who went home? Nobody went home yet. Hello there. We're still in the episode. There's plenty of time. They have not even gotten to the vote yet. And the ball pit's got to be hiding something, right? Like I agree. There's something with the ball pit. I just don't 100% know what's going on yet. There's bingo balls in there. There's word balls that spell out bingo. There's bigger balls. There's smaller balls. Lots of balls. You know? It's kind of funny. They've started to play up the Austin and Kyle like showmance. The thing is, they actually do have like a little bit of like a thing going. There was a clip I saw of them at night where like Kyle reaches over and they like interlock hands, and then he like takes the cover and he covers their hands, and it was really cute because like Austin would like look over and she would like smile while Kyle wasn't looking, and then she would look away, and then Kyle would look over and she wasn't looking and he would look away, and then Austin would like, they kept trying to steal glances at each other. So it is kind of sad that one of them has to leave and that little budding showmance gets taken away. I also don't know if that is like a real, like, there's actual chemistry there, or it's just because they're stuck in the house and they've been in quarantine for like a year, so they haven't been dating, right? Like maybe that's it. Because I think that's what's up with Ty, Jed, and Beth. They're just all cooped up in their houses for a year, and now that they have some warm bodies, things get crazy. Would you be shocked if they end up together after the season's over? No, Miles. Actually, I would not be shocked, especially if it's Austin and Kyle. Because here's the thing I think about Big Brother showmances. For the most part, I think the ones that kind of form naturally after like a couple of weeks, they're the ones that end up sticking, right? Like Jeff and Jordan, they didn't really start getting together until maybe like week 3-ish, week 4-ish, which is right about when Kyle and Austin are. I forget when Bailey and Swaggy first started to have a thing. I think that was early, but they might be the exception to the rule, maybe. But usually those ones that are like a week 1 showman, like, no, that's just you were attracted to that other person and that's about it. There's no actual chemistry there where you guys get along. That's just them being like, oh, you're pretty, I like you. You're handsome, I like you. It seems more like when multiple weeks have gone by and you really get to know somebody and a showman starts. That's the one that I would not be shocked if they actually dated afterwards. I like the hot tub backyard, looks so cool. I agree. And I like how Big Brother Canada does their backyard, where they have this like indoor competition backyard area, and then they have the real backyard. Seems kind of cool. I almost wish there was a way to get to the actual backyard without going through the competition area, because then the house guests would have the backyard more, and they wouldn't be like locked in. Because that's a big problem with Big Brother US too, is when they're building a competition, you don't get the backyard, and I just feel like less conversations happen, right? Like there's, especially early game, because there's only so many places to go. That brings us to the second commercial break. Arissa's trolling us hard. Like she's really messing with us tonight. I think that's because she knows just as well as we do that like we got no clue what's going on tonight. We really don't. Like we know that maybe Austin is staying and that Kyle will be evicted. But other than that, like we got no clue what's going on with this HOH. Let's see, any other interesting chats I missed? Let's see. Why with the trolls, Arissa? Why with the trolls? Let's see. Anything else? I think I pretty much caught up with chat, maybe. I don't know, I'm terrible with it. Anybody who wasn't here earlier though, I do think I know who will be the new HOH. The invisible HOH. I think I got it figured out.
And his name is John C.
Can't see me. You can't see me. Either that or you may have seen the tweet I posted of Harry Potter putting on the invisibility cloak. He's literally just ahead. He's the head of House Gryffindor. Right? I don't know. Maybe it's Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon, the Invisible Man. Has anybody seen that movie? Does anybody know what movie I'm talking about when I say the Invisible Man and Kevin Bacon? Do you guys know this? It's kind of creepy and weird, especially the CGI when like he's going invisible to non-invisible and like you can see like his skeleton and veins. Chills. That's one. What else is a possible invisible HOH idea? Oh, maybe it's the dude from The Boys that they had in the cage. Right? The invisible dude who had like the diamond skin and they had to shove an explosion. They had to shove it up his so clean. No other leading brand beats it. I don't think I can say that on YouTube.
The new MyWW Plus is our most holistic weight loss program ever. You can choose.
Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen with this invisible HOH?
I never feel restricted. Download the app today and try us out with
also,
a 14-day free trial.
I don't know what it is. I feel like in Canada, they have like some fixation on eggs for dinner. I've seen that commercial like 7 times.
Welcome back to BBCAN. If you ever miss a show
we are
or just
back
want to see them again, you can
from the episode. Also, I realized I was blasting you guys with commercial noise there. Free advertisement for them. Because they ain't paying me nothing. All right, we got Tina, Tara. Yeah, that was kind of a thing where really nobody was talking game this week that much. It was kind of just like, at least from like Kyle and Austin, it didn't seem like either one of them were really trying too hard to like pitch themselves to stay. It was more of like, hey, let's get the 6 together and just you guys decide on who you want to stay or go. It's kind of weird. Maybe Dane will be the invisible HOH. Right? Arissa is trolling us hard. I kind of like it, though. It's one thing. I love that Arissa is a big fan Like, she's not just like, oh, the host and like, oh, I show up for the episodes. She's watching the live feed. She's keeping up with everything. Like, she's a fan. Any live stream link to watch? In fact, yes. All you have to do is head to my Twitter. I'll have a link here for you in a second. And let's put that in the chat. You can head over to my Twitter. The pinned tweet, the top tweet that you will see on my Twitter page, that is how you can find all the information on how to watch the episode along with us, watch the live feeds, any information you need is all right there. It's a tweet from Hamster Watch, who, if you don't know Hamster Watch, they are OGs in the Big Brother community. They've been around pretty much since the beginning, and they have it all set up there in one nice little tweet thread. Gives you all the information that you need to know. And yes, Arissa is the executive producer, so she is, you know, truly invested in this show, and she wants it to succeed. She's a big part of why we had the changes in the casting process, and I really love this cast this year. Like, what they did was amazing. And look, you got to give credit where credit's due. Robin Cass, she is the one who casted this cast, right? Like, people give her crap, but she's the one who put this cast together. So if you have problems with how she's casted before, maybe it's not all her fault. That's just my 2 cents. Not saying that there weren't issues, right? Because there were issues, but maybe it's not all her fault. I'm sad for Beth and Austin, for both Austin and Kyle, as either one of them could be evicted, right? Like, it's tough because as of right now, I don't dislike anybody in the house, to be honest with you. Like, all of them have pros and cons that make them such unique, interesting players. If I had like a tier list of like who I wouldn't mind seeing to leave right now, not necessarily on the block, just anyone in the house, I wouldn't mind seeing Tera go. I don't think she brings that much. Not saying I don't like her, but as far as a game sense, I don't think she's that dynamic of a player. I really, as much as Austin and Breydon aren't playing, they are in a way too, right? Like, if that makes any sense. Because what they'll do is they'll do what they're showing right now, where they'll sit, they'll talk, and when they're sitting in these spots, like I've talked about this spot up here by the doors, you can see everything that's going on. They also have another one underneath the stairs where you can see everything going on. In fact, you can even see into the bathroom. So they have a good idea of who's aligned with who and what's going on in the house as well. I just don't know if they're gamers as much as we want them to be. Let's see what they're doing. I and Jed, I guess, trying to figure out what they want to do. What has Tera been doing this whole season? Tera has been riding the coattails of Tina, pretty much. Tina and Tera are very closely aligned, and honestly, they've been closely aligned the whole season. And other than kind of getting into a little bit of a row with Jed early on, where she was like, yeah, you should be the replacement nominee, she hasn't really done much. Hasn't really done much. Yeah, dressing them up as moles, that was funny. That was really funny. I liked that competition a lot too, because it was a competition we've seen before of like, hey, here's a maze where you have to roll the ball in, but they changed it up where you're not moving it. You have to like blow on the ball and pop your head up through. I like creative, different challenges that take stuff we've seen before and completely flip it on its head and think outside the box like that. Like the veto they did in All Stars where you had to stack the cans. We've seen stacking competitions before, but we've never seen a tiny one where you had to use tweezers. That was cool. Kiefer walking in. You guys need a minute? Yeah, we need like 5 minutes. Kyle's got a point, right? It's got a little bit of a point. Austin has done pretty well in competition so far. That's the biggest thing with Ty and Jed is whether or not they would believe that Kyle and Rohan would be coming after them or not, which you have to believe that they would be coming after you, you know? For the invisible HOH, what if it's different and whoever Canada votes for, that could be a thing too, right? Maybe it's a Canadian vote, but we vote who we want HOH to be, and the House just won't know who HOH is. Like, oh, that's like the MVP twist. Remember from like, what was that, season 15 with Arissa? Every week, we would vote on who would be the MVP, and the rest of the House wouldn't know who it was, but they would get to put up a third nominee. That could be a thing. That could be a thing. We're in this, what's this, the third commercial break of the night. I'd imagine this is one of the last ones before the eviction starts. I think we're only a commercial break away from the actual vote happening. But who knows? Maybe Arissa's trolling us again. I don't know. Oh! Mighty Duck commercial. I am super excited for the Mighty Ducks. I think that comes out, what? This weekend? Next week? Wait, is that tomorrow? Tomorrow? Wait, Mighty Ducks comes out tomorrow, and so does the second episode of Winter Soldier and Falcon? Oh boy. Anybody who has not seen the new Mighty Duck revival, they're bringing back Coach Bombay, Emilio Estevez. He is back with a whole new crew of little munchkin hockey players, and I'm super excited. I was a huge fan. What is that? Oh, so have you ever seen the original Mighty Duck movies? Have you guys, anybody seen that? If you haven't, they are classics. So the whole concept is it's a youth hockey team who are, the misfits. They're not the ones who are supposed to be on, the JV hockey team, right? They didn't make the squad. So they started their own team, the Mighty Ducks. And the first movie is a classic. The second movie, D2, that one's a classic as well. That one, D2, you know who's in that? Kenan Thompson from like SNL, that guy from all that guy, he is in Mighty Ducks. There's 3 movies originally, Mighty Ducks D2, and Mighty Ducks D3, where they go to college. And it's fantastic. It is, if you have not seen it, I believe they're all on Disney Plus, if you have Disney Plus. And what they're doing now is they are bringing it back, right? They're bringing back at least Coach Bombay, who is played by Emilio Estevez, who is the just a fantastic actor from a fantastic family of actors. His brother, Charlie Sheen, his father, Martin Sheen, which, by the way, Emilio Estevez now, he looks exactly like his dad. Exactly like his dad. Here we go. I think we are getting ready to head into the eviction vote.
So can you believe you've been in the house for almost a month now?
Maybe a little sync up here as Marissa talks to the house, and then we'll head back in when they actually get to the vote. Yeah, we're getting into it. We are getting into it. Oh, they're showing them like a recap. Oh, this was funny. They're showing them the thing where Jed was hiding behind the couches in the OLG room. He got like everybody. They kept bringing people in. Got Kiefer, got Tera. Oh, they're showing more from competitions. I always like seeing the house guests' reactions to these because they're like, "Oh my god, we look like idiots." It's like this is what the people are seeing at home. We look like idiots. Oh, they just showed Spicy coming out of the bathroom and Tina's dying. Tina's dying again. I think I love Tina's laugh more than anybody in the house because when Tina gets like really in a giggly mood, like she's fall over laughter. She is literally falling over with laughter, and I love it. Kiefer finding the Expedia room. Them jumping in the ball pits. And I think we're going to be getting into the vote here, and at least the speeches in just a minute. It's time for the vote. I love when the lights get dark. Make it all dramatic. Thank you for the sync up. I thought I would have to watch it. Hey, you're welcome. You are welcome. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Never miss a stream. We stream every live eviction episode with our live reactions right here to every episode. Austin pretty much saying his goodbyes more than anything else in that speech. Austin doing the typical, if it's best for your game, keep me, that kind of a thing. Five votes is the number you need. Breydon will be the first. I think it's fairly obvious where his vote will go. But let's see. Oh, man. My link went down, but that's why you always have a nice backup. We moved backwards in time a little bit. We're now back at the speeches, waiting to see if the other link comes back up. If you're using the one that you found on my Twitter, that one will come back up eventually. And what they usually do is they'll sync it back up to where it left. But if you're here with me live, you will get to see the vote live. Well, at least hear the vote live. Because we ain't going anywhere. All right, let's see here. Just making this full screen here. All right. Getting into the vote here. Here we go. Feels like deja vu. Breydon running to the DR. All right. Here we go.
Hey, Diva.
Please cast your vote to evict.
I sadly cast my vote to evict Kyle.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Breydon votes to evict Kyle. Not a surprise. Tina. Tina is up next.
Kyle.
Tina goes for Kyle. I think that pretty much seals it, honestly. Kyle's best chance of staying was to get the Tina and Tera vote. Unless, for some reason, Ty and Jed flipped.
Please cast your vote to evict.
I vote to evict Kyle.
Kyle.
Thank you.
I think it's going to be kind of a steamroll of a unanimous decision to vote out Kyle. We'll see. Maybe Rohan will give him a vote. Beth votes to evict Kyle as well. That will be 3 votes for Kyle. Or, excuse me, 4 votes for Kyle. Spicy coming in now. And that's it. 5 votes. Kyle has been eliminated. Jed's vote coming up. Yeah, I think it's just going to be a unanimous vote. Kyle will be evicted from the Big Brother house. Tera coming up next. Tera's upset about this. She actually was like somewhat in tears. The pants you put the nail. Yeah, 3 sheets. Yeah. That fight in the pantry, it did Kyle no favors. And really Rohan either. It just came off very aggressive to everybody in the house, and they were like, whoa. Like, if that's what they're able to do, like, they're big threats. And I honestly think, depending on who wins HOH, as Kyle gets evicted here, I honestly think, depending on who wins HOH this week, I think it's going to be the same thing, only Ty and Jed this, like, upcoming, right? So I think whoever wins will most likely nominate Ty and Jed together, unless it's, like, Ty, Jed, or Beth who win HOH. And I think that's what we're going to be seeing next week. Who knows, though? Who knows? Big fan of Kyle, JD? Well, I know you're a big fan of Rohan, right? Like, you're a big Rohan fan, so that makes sense that you'd be Team Cairo. That was nice. Rohan waiting for him with his bag and giving him his hug before he goes. And you know what? I got to be really honest, too. There was a little bit of a bumpy road for Kyle, right? Like, there was a little bit of a bumpy road when he got announced for the cast and, you know, everything that went along with that. We'll leave it how it is. But Kyle grew on me real quick. I really liked his bio video. I think I liked it better than the other guy. And early on, I was like, Kyle, yeah. Oh, there was also Kyle number 1 and Kyle number 2, that whole situation. Because I'll be honest with you, I really liked Kyle number 1. Anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, when Kyle got announced for the cast, his name was released and we had a picture, and that was it. There wasn't like a bio right away. And we were like, oh, let's find this guy. Well, not me, but like Twitter was like, let's find this guy. So they found him. They were like, we got Kyle Moore right here. This is him. And like, I looked at the picture and like, I saw his picture and I saw the cast picture. I was like, okay, a little off, but I think it to me, it almost looked like, oh, this was, you know, Kyle 5 years ago. This is current Kyle. Right? Like, that's how much of a difference it was in looks. And I was like, okay. Let's look into this, Kyle. What's he all about? And as I read through his, like, Twitter, I was like, he's got, like, a mental health podcast where he's talking about, you know, destigmatizing men's mental health. And he was all for, you know, just his whole Twitter was like, I like this guy. This is a cool dude. I can't wait to see him in the house. And then he tweeted, he's like, why is everybody saying I'm going to be on Big Brother? Completely different Kyle. It was not the same dude. It's like, oops, sorry there, bud. We just blew up your Twitter. You just got a bunch of new followers, though, so good for you. What I think is maybe the funniest part of that, too, is it wasn't like, oh, here's the wrong Kyle. Oh, we found the new Kyle. There was a third Kyle, like in between that Kyle and the Kyle we have, where they were like, oh, no. This is Kyle. He's a hockey player and he's from this place. And that Kyle like passed away like 3 years ago. And it was like, oh no, we got it right again. But I think by the time we figured out which Kyle was real and who was actually going to be on the show, I really started to enjoy Kyle. I thought he was probably the best pick to actually be in the house in the first place, even more so than the other guy, because he overall, I was like, yeah, this dude's just way better. He seems less frat bro like, right? Like he seemed more, just kind of down to earth, and that kind of showed in the house. His only problem was that thing in the storage room. If him and Rohan didn't go at Kyle at Kiefer like that, maybe things would end up a little bit differently. Maybe Kiefer is more likely to work with him in the future and doesn't actually put him up or put Austin up as a replacement, guaranteeing he goes home. Who knows, though? That's where you start getting in that coulda, shoulda, wouldas of Big Brother, and that's always a hard thing to deal with. Beth is useless. Rohan just might win. He might just win. Can't believe Kyle was the last pre-jury, right? The last pre-jury member. It's crazy that we're in jury already. As we're getting the interview here with Kyle,
who I created a connection with, but things almost changed again, and I tried to fight to save myself, and it just wasn't in the cards.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Rohan then. Your brother from another mother. Yeah. You guys got so close in there. Yeah. How is Rohan going to do in there without you?
You know what? I think they're going to do well. One of those six just need to win this next HOH, and I think it's smooth sailing for them, honestly. It was unfortunate we kept Kiefer, and what are the chances he pulls out a win? So it's a risk.
That is a thing. But, right, I wonder, hypothetically, last week, LT stays and Kiefer goes home. I wonder what happens. Does Kyle still get evicted this week? Again, that's getting into that whole coulda, shoulda, wouldas of Big Brother. And I am a firm believer that if you play a season of Big Brother like 100 times in a row, right? Like, for example, if you took season 10 and replayed that over again with everyone involved and they have no memory of what happened in the first season, I don't know if Dan wins. Right? Like, there's so many things that happen in Big Brother that are just like flip of a coin, or this person just decided on a whim that I'm going to vote this way or that way, right? And I firmly believe that there's so many different scenarios that can play out in the game that if you just played it all over and over and over again, you might get a different winner every time. There's also, let's say you did that and you did season 10 100 times. Dan might win like 50% of them. That could be a thing because Dan's that good of a player. But does he win every time? I don't think so.
Won't believe your eyes. Big Brother Canada is back with that right after this.
Okay, so her exact words were an HOH challenge that's so different you won't believe your eyes. What could this be? Like, what could this be? I really don't know. Let's catch up on chat here. My boy Kyle was so close. I needed Rohan and Austin to avenge him, right? Yeah, that'd be great. If Invisible HOH is this week, does that mean TikTok POV week? Maybe. Because the one thing I was thinking about with the TikToks is I kind of think they're going to get the evicted house guests to make like TikToks, right? Like, I think you're going to get Latoya, you're going to get Julie and Josh. Like, they're all going to make, TikToks for the house too. But I don't know. That was just kind of like my thinking as like we got closer and closer to it. I was like, it just makes sense, right? Why not have them involved in it too? You already have past house guests from other seasons. Why not bring in like, the evicted people too? But I don't know. That would make or maybe it's that will be a POV that comes in later with the jurors. Because that was the thing. I was like, look, if you're going to do TikToks, you almost have to include the house guests doing a TikTok, right? Or former house guests that were in there doing a TikTok, or else it's like, what? I don't know. I just think that would be interesting, but I don't 100% know how that would go. And there's not much time left in the episode, which makes me think we're getting like a cliffhanger. And I also don't know if we're actually going to know who's HOH. Like, we might not know who's HOH until Monday. We might not know who HOH is until Monday. But I say that, but at the same time, I'm fairly, right? Like, I'm fairly certain that I have a pretty good idea. Who HOH will be.
And his name is John C.
I'm pretty sure that's who the HOH will be. As we get back into the episode here.
Welcome back to Big Brother Canada, where just moments ago, Kyle was sent home. That means we need to switch up the head of household. But this week, whoever it is going to be invisible. Let's head to the backyard so I can explain this newness to the house guests.
So weird. Okay, so they have them set up in little booths. And it's going to be like a question thing where they got to buzz in.
And all their powers will be invisible.
What?
They're all like, what? What does this mean?
Shut up.
What do you mean, Arissa?
The
won't
next
go to the
HOH.
So they're going, wow, what? So they're going to be able to play in next week's HOH. They're going to be able to play in the veto. The only one, Kiefer's so mad right now. He's so mad that he doesn't get to play. He's like, a conveyor belt. They have to count the rocks that fall. Here, I'll show you kind of the competition setup. As, of course, there you see how they're in like little booths so they can't see each other. And there's going to be rocks that are falling. And I guess you have to keep track with the clicker. And whoever is the closest with how many rocks fell, that is who. Wow, this is crazy. Because this is a moment where, like, if you're Tina, yeah, you win this, because then you can actually take a shot at somebody, right? If you're Rohan, right, you could take a shot at the boys and be like, it wasn't me. Oh, wow, this is like, there's a lot of rocks falling. This will be actually hard to keep track of. Like, they're already so different. Like, Breydon's got 12. Crazy. This is going to be nuts. And yeah, I don't think we're going to know who HOH is until like Monday. Because even when the live feeds come back, who's going to tell us that they're the HOH? Like, Spicy's got like 44 she's up to. They actually might give us an answer here. How much time's left in the episode? Nope. Nope, they're not giving us an answer. It's a cliffhanger. So, yeah, no Kiefer HOH again. There's absolutely no chance of Kiefer getting HOH. Whoever is HOH, they're basically going to do their nominations in secret in the diary room, so nobody's going to know who did it. They're going to be eligible to win the power of veto, and they're also eligible to win HOH next week. That's insane. That is so much power. Like, that, and not just that, it also, it's like something we've never seen before, right? Like, this is completely new territory. Who knows what's really gonna happen here, right? Because, for example, you're Tina and you win HOH. If nobody knows it's going to be you, go for the biggest target, right? Like, 100% you go for whoever the biggest target is, period. Whether that is Ty, Jed in your eyes, or it's Breydon. Whoever you think is the biggest target, that's who you go after. Heather Gill says, Tera is my aunt. Really? That is awesome. Hey, maybe she wins HOH this week. We won't know until Monday. Because like I said, if you are HOH, right, let's say you win this competition, who are you going to tell, right? Like, Tina would tell Tera. Tina would tell your aunt. That's what would happen. If Tina won HOH, she would tell Tera. And if Tera won HOH, she would tell Tina. But otherwise, they wouldn't tell anybody, right? Like, if you're your aunt, would she go and tell Jed, hey, guess what? I'm the invisible eight? No! No! Not a chance. And if you did do that, it's like, what are you doing? The whole point of this week is that no one will know. No one will know what's going on. They are always together. They are always together. It used to be the Tina and Latoya show. But once Tina got the idea that Latoya was a little bit kind of with the boys more, and also has that risk of, once she saw that the writing was on the wall that Latoya was going home, she started focusing in more on the Tera alliance that she had going on. Which, by the way, before the live feeds came on, I had gotten the impression that Tina and Tera were really close. It wasn't until the live feeds came on that I started to realize that Latoya and Tina were closer. But it seems like as time's gone on, obviously, the TNT alliance has become pretty solid. But that does it for the episode. We're going to have to wait until at least Monday, I guess, to find out who is the HOH. Like I said, I don't think we're going to be able to find out on the feeds. The only other way is, again, if Ty or Jed won HOH, they're going to tell each other, right? Other than that, I don't think anybody would tell the others, right? Like, here's a crazy one. Crazy one. Beth wins HOH. Does she put up Ty and Jed just to be like, no one would think it's her, right? Because, like, you put up Ty and Jed, one of them wins veto, hopefully, and then you put somebody else up, but also at the same time, it gets rid of one of them. And that may be a good thing, but I don't think it would be necessarily a good thing for Beth. But who knows? Maybe she's crazy enough to do something like that. There's been some tension with Ty and Jed and Beth. It's kind of starting to, get a little messy there. Even the other night, Ty slept in the HOH room with Kiefer. He just didn't even want to be in the room. He was like, I'm not having any of that. Let's see. Mommy and Joy Camp say, not Tina or Tara. You do not want them to win HOH. Very against that, I see. Jedson always has his shirt off. Yeah, he does. You know who did that a lot too? Alec in BBCAN9. The dude like never had a shirt on. Never had. Though, you know what? Look, hey, if I had abs like that, I probably wouldn't wear a shirt that much either. What if it's Victoria who wins it? That's a great question, JD. If Victoria won HOH, I don't think she tells anybody. And I think she would go after Ty and Jed. I think that's when she would take her shot, right? Like if Victoria won HOH, I think she would take a shot at Ty and Jed. Because who else would you put up, right? Like, if anybody other than Beth, Ty, or Jed wins HOH and they don't put Ty and Jed on the block, dumb. Just so dumb. They are the biggest threats in the house right now. That pair. If you don't put them up, you're an idiot. If you don't put them up, you should not be in the game anymore because you're obviously not trying to win. But I don't know. There's so many different possibilities and ways this will go. And again, we won't even know who the HOH is. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm hoping the oddballs win HOH. Well, here's the thing though, too, right? Is the oddballs, I don't even know how real that is anymore. Because at this point, they were throwing everybody's name under the bus. And I don't know. Let's see. I feel sorry for Ty and Jed because they aren't really that good. Here's the thing about Ty and Jed. They may not be the best strategically, but look, when it comes to like physical competitions and stuff, like you do not want to be, you don't want to be in a foot race with Ty or Jed, right? Like in a clown shoe veto, I wouldn't want to go against Ty or Jed. Not in the world. Like no chance in the world do I want to go against Ty or Jed in something where I have to run back and forth. They weren't even that. Ty has a master's in civil engineering, so he's at least smart enough to get a master's degree. Give him a little bit of credit, just a little bit of credit. Breydon, Tera, and Tina are floaters. Can't stand floaters. So here's the thing. Astro. What up, dude? Long time, man. Here's the thing about floaters. There's a difference between floaters and coasters. Now, Rachel Riley, she is the one who kind of made floaters famous, right? Like floaters, grab a life vest, right? And that's where like the negative connotation of floaters comes from. The problem is floating was like a legitimate strategy, right? Where it's like, hey, you go back and forth and kind of stay in the middle, right? Go where the power is, keeps yourself safe. And then when you are later in the game, you could take your shot at who you need to do, right? But what people really hate is coasters. Coasters are the ones who it's kind of a double entendre. One, they're coasting their way through the game, right? Like they're just, I don't get, just go and I get the jury, right? That's a coaster. Somebody who says, I don't want to win. I just want to get the jury. I want to get the jury and then I'll feel good about myself. That's a coaster. Unless it's somebody who's just saying that, that could be a thing too. But anybody who truly believes, I just want to get the jury, that's a coaster. The second part of like what why I like the word coaster, right? It's a double entendre, right? They're coasting their way through the game, but they're also literally a coaster. They're put on the table, they're put on the block, and they're basically just trying to keep that ring off your nightstand, right? Like that's what you're using the coaster for. The coaster are your pawns. They're the ones that like the AJ, the pawn star, coaster. He's not a floater. He's a coaster. They're objects in the house. They're not players. You guys get what I'm saying? Like that is what people hate. Floaters are playing the game. You know who's a good example of a floater who doesn't necessarily get the credit he deserves, and understandably because of the season he was on and blah 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 blah. Is Andy. Andy from BB15. That dude knew how to float, and he floated so good. Like he had everybody worked up, like to the point where it was like, yeah, we trust Andy. Andy's on our side. No, he wasn't. Andy was on Andy's side, 100%. Let's catch up on the chat, and then I think we're gonna call it for the night. Let's see. Okay, I'll give Ty that. Yeah, right. Like I said, he's got a master's degree. He's got some smarts to him, and you think, hey, look, Josh was an interesting character, and I feel like here's what I legitimately feel. If I met Josh, and me and him became buddy, like I really think we would become friends, and I feel like all of you probably would too. Like if you met Josh on the street or at the bar or, from work, right? However you met him, you'd probably like the guy and you'd probably get along with him. He's probably a really easygoing guy. He seems like he'd, be a funny person to hang out with too. Like he's got some character to him. In the game of Big Brother though, those personalities, they just don't last. And I also think he would have been okay if he didn't get so paranoid in the beginning of the game. That was kind of a mystery of what happened on day 3. Everybody was like, what happened on day 3? What happened on day 3? We didn't know because we didn't have feeds. There was a big blow up. It actually turns out we did see it. It was what was shown in like the premiere episodes, where he went to Julie and was like, there's a Pretty Boys 2.0 starting. I'm really worried. They're going to put me on the block. And that then led to him getting a target put on him. It was like, yo, this guy's freaking out already. It's like it's day 3 and he's freaking out already. Like, we got to get this guy out. So that was kind of like his downfall really early in the game. What do you, how do you watch, in the US, Easy Steps? Yes. So, here, put this in. I don't know if you're following me on Twitter, Astro, but that's my Twitter. If you go there, the pinned tweet, the top one on my Twitter profile, it's a tweet from Hamster Watch. It's got all the information you're going to need on how to watch, from outside Canada and everything you need. How to watch the episodes, how to watch the feeds. The easiest way is if you have a VPN, you can literally just put it to Canada and you can go on to bigbrothercanada.com. It's bigbrothercanada.ca. And you can literally watch the live feeds for free if you have a VPN. Another option, if you have a VPN that is very, very worth it, BB Viewer. It's kind of a open source kind of a program that is done by a BB fan on Twitter. I forget, Liquid, is it? Who does it? Let me see. See if I can pull up his Twitter. Yeah, here. I'll pop his link in the chat too. Because that guy, he does every year, it's called BB Viewer. And what it is, it's basically a program that you can use to watch the live feeds. Through it, you can actually watch all the episodes on there too. And it's just a really well done kind of all-in-one Big Brother experience. You can do screenshots easily, you can rewind easily, you can have multiple cameras up all at once and switch between them. It's really awesome, and highly recommend it. But I think that is where we'll call it for the night. Thank you everyone for joining me, for all of the returning people. Astro, we had JD, Rashad back again. Remember you from before. Even Miles, I think you were here before as well. We had some new people like Heather, who dropped on in. Hello there, came in as well at one point in the night. Who else did we have? Even Hermit. I think Hermit dropped in for a minute or two. So thank you everyone who came on out. I always appreciate you guys for the support. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. You never miss a video. You never miss a stream. I just recently put out a video that I ended up being kind of proud of. A Secret Rooms video. It's on this channel. You can go check it out after this is done. And as always, expect the unexpected. And I will see you next time. As I completely messed that up. But there we go. See you guys later.